Then, all right, I think we're ready to go. Welcome to the CHAOSS community meeting for October 28th, 2025. I think we have, we follow the CHAOSS Code of Conduct, and you're free to leave your cameras on or not. Totally your choice. We're cool either way. Pretty light agenda today. First, there's a new practitioner guide for assessing, not accessing, but assessing viability. And I don't know, is there anybody on the call that can speak to this in terms of its construction and purpose?
I was on it. So you remember Gary White's metric models?
I do.
So this is like, it stems from that. So it's a way to kind of bring them together into a guide.
So yeah, so it Gary had identified some metrics, and this is a guide. So
yeah, so early on, Gary had done, so obviously we have the metrics that are kind of atomic things, and then he had put together a series of metric models around kind of these things that you're scrolling past, Sean, like as the header.
oh, sorry, I don't know if I should.
No, it's fine. So like compliance and security was one of his things. With respect to metric models, governance was another thing that he had with respect to metric models. So this guide is basically just saying, why don't we just go ahead and bring together these three or four different metric models into a single guide, and that's it.
Yeah, this is a substantial coverage.
Yeah, it is.
Really, like a ton of CHAOSS metrics are in this one.
There are, again, just because it was 4 models prior. And so really, I think Gary and Don had done the majority of the work, and I provided like editorial feedback. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that work. That looks fantastic. We do want to also promote the CFP for CHAOSScon EU, which occurs prior to FOSDEM, as it has every year. This year, it's the Thursday before FOSDEM, which I want to say is, January 29th.
It is.
And the CFP is open until, I believe that is Sunday, since that is the day of a Packers game. That's how I recognize days on the calendar.
And just so everybody knows, we do have the venue set now, so we're good. Georg had kind of pursued that, so it's, well, I kind of forget where it is and who it's with, but we have that set. And we're starting to receive some sponsorships, so that's real nice as well. So I think things are going along pretty well, as far as I can tell.
That's awesome. And then the next thing is, I have this thing to share. There's a big reminder about daylight savings time. So some of you may recall that every year in the fall, Europe and the United States aren't aligned for 1 week. This is that week. So we are almost through that mess because the United States goes to daylight savings time this coming Sunday, but the EU went to daylight savings time last Sunday. And then in the spring, just projecting forward, the United States turns the clocks forward 3 weeks ahead of Europe. So that is where the most significant problems occur for us. Yeah. And I just, Ria Schlott, I don't know how to say Ria's last name. Schlott, maybe? She's a CHAOSS community member that does a lot of work in OSPO. She's responsible for an OSPO at one of the HP spinoffs that I don't recall the name of. But if you use the GitHub API, and Augur and Grimoire Lab both do, these changes that were made, it seems at the end of August, at the beginning of September is when they were fully enacted. They do actually disable or change some existing APIs. So if you are collecting data through the GitHub API pertaining to events, you will have to modify that code. And I know a lot of people actually go and get data directly from the API as well as Augur and Grimoire Lab. I don't believe Augur or Grimoire Lab has currently updated their collection to address this.
That was my question.
Right. Yeah, it actually, Rhea told me, Rhea brought this to my attention a week ago, and I hadn't seen any issues then. So, but in the last 2 days, I've actually seen that the API is in fact changed and broken. So
What's being affected for you?
resolution of contributors seems to be the most significant thing that's affected, because one of the ways we resolve contributors is searching for other events that contributors have used or have created in the API. So that seems to be the biggest impact thing. It's not a huge impact. We still get most contributors, but it's a stage in our process. And I don't know how much the current version of Grimoire Lab makes use of the events API, but I think at least some. The change is pretty straightforward. And actually the overall news is quite good. They are providing more data for longer periods of time in the events API. So overall, once we fix our software, we will be able to get more information from the events API going back farther in time than we have been able to previously. So overall, it's good news. But right now, if you're using it, it's not as good of news, but something to be aware of. And I said the agenda was light, and I wasn't kidding. Those are all the items that we have right now, unless someone else has something to bring forward. I would welcome that.
Not so much at the moment.
Okay, well, I know we were planning to, I think, have a CHAOSScon meeting after this, but I think, Matt, you and I might be the only people. Maybe, oh, Callie is here.
Yeah, I don't
We
know
could
if
just
it
put it
that's
off.
the stuff that's the stuff that's I'd like to talk about. I don't know how relevant it is without a larger.
Yeah, yeah, and I know a number of people that are on the CHAOSScon committee are actually at a meeting in Madrid for tomorrow. So why don't we just not do that today if there's no objection?
Is there no urgency for it, Callie?
Not really. It's just about like thinking about the structure for CHAOSScon and what type of like talks versus open discussions, working groups,
Okay.
just kind of like talking about the structure of the event, which I
Yep.
don't think is. I think we need to have a larger group to have
Yeah.
that discussion.
I
Okay,
agree.
fair.
I don't think there's enough people here for that kind of discussion, or really any, frankly. So
Okay.
yeah. So we're gonna give you like back a half an hour of your life here.
Sorry, I'm also part of the planning committee.
Oh, hi,
I,
Eunice. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's fine. I wanted to ask who was handling like the Chaos X account, because I wanted to talk to the person regarding designs that we'll be needing to post there. So I don't know if we'll maybe talk about it in our next meeting.
Elizabeth has the keys, but we have not used that account in however long it's been X.
Yeah,
Basically.
since
Mhm.
Elon Musk took it over, I think we stopped using that account.
But I think
Like,
Chaos Africa uses their account. So we mostly use LinkedIn at this point. So if there's things that and Elizabeth would also be the person to get in touch with regarding LinkedIn.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
You bet.
And I suppose before we go, we'll draw your attention to these reminders, number of deadlines coming up, including CHAOSScon, but also the Digital Resilience Forum, which I guess we can actually like cancel that one.
That's happening.
Since these two are.
I think that's
Two have already occurred.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have. That is this week's. Okay. Nightmare Before Coding.
So I guess it's a Halloween tie-in.
Probably a pretty good guess.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that's it. You get a half hour back and we'll see you next week. When Europe will be back on the same time arrangement as we are. Bye, everyone.
Later, folks.